Hello guys, today we are going to be working on a little project that I have going on, and it's going to be transforming this wig into something a little bit different. Now we are going to be using this Colorista spray from L'Oreal, and this is in the shade Silver 01. Now this is a temporary spray, and since our wig that we have right here is not 100% human hair, it is synthetic, we are going to be using that to color it and to make it look a little bit less shiny, less synthetic. Now the part that it does have is a really nice part, so I do not have to do much to it there. I do plan on taking out a little bit of the baby hairs that it has here, so whenever it is being used, I can be able to put it on correctly and make it look a little bit more realistic, as well as going to give it a little bit of a trim, just once again to make it look a little less synthetic. So let's get started. Now in this particular point, if you wouldn't have a wide part like this one does, what you would do is with a pair of tweezers, you would go ahead and grab it and then just start plucking it. So like that, you could open up that part a little bit more to actually make it look like one of our parts, like a real part. So our goal here is always to try and make our wigs, even though they are synthetic or 100% human hair, look the more realistic as possible. Now, what we're going to be getting is our baby hairs next. I am going to go ahead and do a part here, and that is just so I can kind of give myself an idea as to where I'm going to be grabbing baby hairs from. So we're gonna focus mainly in the front part of the wig, and from here we are going to start plucking. So like that, we try and give ourselves those baby hairs. Now this is not a lace wig. This one, you can actually tell where the wig is at. You can tell the part. So we're going to have to try and be very careful with that, because we don't want that to show when we're putting it down. And I am just grabbing bits and pieces and pulling. I'm not doing this as a human hair wig or a lace front wig, because on this one there's only so much that I can actually do to it. Now here is, I don't know if you can see that, but here's what I have currently taken out from it. And I am just going to try and pluck some areas around it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I went ahead and did the same thing on the other side of my wig, and all I did was kind of thin it out a little bit from the front line so it doesn't look as thick, because obviously at our hairline we do not have it as thick as they did it on the wigs. So what I'm going to do now is just give it a little bit more of shape, and I'm going to start off with little pieces in the very front. And the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to get some shears, just regular shears, and I'm going to start cutting at an angle. And I am just going at an angle and going softly. And this is just to give it a little bit more shape, okay? And I'm going to, if you can tell, that's already given it a bit. And I'm going just to keep doing that, working my way down in the front parts. And always at an angle. Remember that, yes, you can take hair away from wigs, but you cannot put it back. So be very, very careful when doing this. You don't want to overdo it, because then you will obviously not be able to fix it. Once it's done, it is done on these. Once again, at an angle, and just trimming a bit. And I'm going to go ahead and do that around it, because I do plan on giving it a kind of ombre type of vibe and wave it a little bit. This synthetic wig is heat resistant. It does have some kind of heat resistance to it. So all I'm going to do is, in a very low heat, wave it. And like that, those little itty bitty layers that I am giving it will show. I am not doing much. I am just going at an angle with bits and pieces, and I'm getting the slightest amount off. Woo! Sorry guys, it just flew off. Okay, and I do have it on a styrofoam little board on top of a box, just so like that it wouldn't be on the ground and make it easier for me to get the hair. So once again, I am cutting everything at an angle and in a very light hand. I am not going too hard on it. I am not cutting off an excess amount. I'm going very slightly and at an angle. I do not have thinning scissors. If I did, I would most likely be using those. But these work well enough. Like I said, I'm just getting the slightest bit that I can from each area. And I am not going to do anything on the back. I'm mainly going to focus it in the front. Since it is a bob wig, I am just focusing it in the front area. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, guys? Okay, guys, so I did take off a bit of the hair. So like that, it is a little bit more layered. It has a little bit of more body to it, and it's not just a straight flat type of typical wig vibe. Now it does look a little bit more like actual hair. I do not know if you guys can see that, but it does have a little bit of more body to it. It is not, like I said, super slicked typical wig one length hair anymore. Now I'm going to go ahead and use our Colorista spray on it. Now it does have a little I don't know how that is, what is that called, a little tip to it. I don't know if you can see that. I guess to target certain areas more. Now I'm going to start with the bottom hairs of the wig, just so like that I can get a real feel for it. and know exactly how I'm going to be working on it. Let me just move this hair out of the way with a pin quickly, and then I will start. Okay guys, it is already pinned, and I went ahead and I moved my styrofoam head to one side, just so like that we can get a better view. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a section, and since we are going to be working with the bottoms of it, I'm going to go ahead and spray it a bit and see how it starts to come out. And I'm going with a very light hand since I don't want it to look too exaggerated on there. The whole point of it is so that it can give it an ombre look, not, woo, sorry guys. The whole point is for it to give it an ombre look and not make it look any more synthetic than what it already is. Okay, I parted my hair once again, and I am going to keep working on the ends. Now, I am working my fingers through it, just so like that I can kind of take off any excess amount that may be getting on there. And then I'm just gonna keep repeating the process. And I am spraying it at an angle. I am not going straight like this. I'm going at an angle, upwards kind of motion. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same process all around. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how this has came out. What was the outcome of that? And it looks so nice. I don't know if the camera can actually pick up that beautiful ombre that it gave it with the spray. Now, to take off all the shiny parts of your wig, that we are going to use dry shampoo. Now, you can use any kind of dry shampoo that you have. The one that I have at home right now is the Tresemme Between Washes Volumizing with no visible residue dry shampoo. Now, whichever one you do have at home, you can go ahead and use for this step. Now, I am going to conceal this area a tiny bit as well. And for that, I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place foundation stick. Now, I am in the shade Lima, and that is the one that I will be using as my concealer with just a angled brush, like this one right here. Now, any concealer that you do have will work. Now, I am going to go ahead and curl, not curl, but wave this, and then go ahead and add my dry shampoo. So give me one quick second. Okay guys, so I went ahead and waved the rest of the wig, and I'm just going to grab a little piece up front here so that I can show you exactly what I did. So I just got my waver, and I'm making sure that I am not putting it super up towards the seam of the wig, and I'm also not putting it anywhere near my styrofoam head, so like that I do not burn anything. And then I just clamp my way down the hair. Now I do have it in a low heat setting because it is synthetic. I do not want to burn it or damage it in any kind of way. It is inexpensive, but also whenever we do get our wigs, even if they're inexpensive or expensive, we always try and take care of them the best that we can. Not everybody has a high budget to be able to afford wigs, so maybe for them an inexpensive wig is probably expensive, you know. So whatever you have on hand, you always need to make sure to try your best and take care of it as much as you can. Even though you may think, hey, it's not expensive or whatnot, always just take precaution, read your labels on your wigs, and make sure that you are following the guidelines for it. Now, if you can see here in the bottom how it is not all straight cut, and that is what we did earlier at the beginning. We made sure to give this wig a bit of texture, so like that whenever we would wear it, it would not look as synthetic, and that is how it turned out. Now it looks way cuter than it did when we first started. You can really see those silver hues in there. It gives it a little bit more of a style. Now we're going to go ahead and spray our dry shampoo all over just to dim down the shine. Okay, and I am going to run my hands through it because at first it does give you that white cast, but once you run your fingers through it, once you have really worked it into the scalp like you're supposed to do on dry shampoo to normal hair, obviously, it does fade out. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that all around just to make sure that I don't have any visible cast on my wig. And whoa, sorry guys. Once I finish doing all of that, then we can work on the concealer. Okay guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my foundation stick from Juvia's Place. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my brush. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to grab a bit of our foundation onto our brush, and we are just going to dab it onto our hairline, our roots right here. And now what that is going to do, it is going to give us a more realistic view of a scalp. Now this wig does have a few little areas on it that does show kind of a scalp, and then it goes into its dark lace. Now if you guys do want to do it onto those areas as well, you can easily part it and add it onto there while styling, but the main part is already concealed just so that it can give it a bit more of a realistic vibe. Now this is my wig fully transformed. It lost all of that super shiny synthetic look that it started with. Now if you look at it, It does have little layers into it where it gives it more of a realistic vibe. The color has changed on it. It has metallic hues on it. It's not pure black. And we did wave it with our waver. Now, this is the waver that I did use. It is just your typical drugstore waver. It is a Bedhead Wave Artist, and that is how it looks. It does lock up as well, so like that it makes it easier to carry along, to put away, and all of that. It does have its setting down here. It goes from low to high. So like that, if you are working with a synthetic wig or you're working with your own personal hair and you want to have control of the temperature just to minimize damage and all of that, you can do it. It is a great affordable waver. I did buy that one in Walmart, so if you guys would like one, you guys can go check it out at Walmart or any of your typical drugstores. Now, this wig I did buy online. It came in a bundle. I was actually able to get it super affordable. I purchased 3 synthetic wigs for around $70, which is very affordable compared to what a wig typically runs. Now, this one does have its lace inside. Let me go ahead and take it out of my styrofoam head so that I may show you guys a little bit more. And this is the way it looks inside. It does have its band, so like that you can clip it on and make sure it stays on more. It has a little bit more of a secure. It does not have clips like other ones, but that is the way this one looks. And I think that for being synthetic, I was really able to transform it and give it more of a realistic vibe. So I hope you guys like it. You will be seeing it in my tutorials, in my videos, and I hope that this video helps you guys to be able to transform any synthetic wig that you have at home or that you end up purchasing, and you can follow along, and hopefully this helps. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.